This is our study guide for Unit 1. We're doing numbers 7 through 12. On number 7, if you'll notice we have a monomial on the outside, we're going to actually need to distribute that to each term on the inside. When you distribute, you have to be very careful to pay attention that you are getting every number, every variable. So we're going to start with the 7x squared and this 9xy cubed. Start with your numbers. Since we're multiplying here, remember you're going to multiply your numbers. 7 times 9 is 63. Then look at your x's. On the outside we have x squared, on the inside we have x. X squared times x is x cubed. Then look, on the outside we have no y, but on the inside we have a y cubed. So we still need to bring our y cubed down. Now we go to the next one. We're still going to go back to 7x squared, but this time we're going to do negative 8z to the 4th y. So take care of your numbers first. 7 times negative 8 is negative 56. Take care of your x's next. There's only the x squared on the outside, so you bring that down. Take care of your y's next. So notice the only y is on the inside, so we bring it down. And then the last one that we have to take care of is the z to the 4th. Notice that I'm going in alphabetical order. It actually helps keep us from forgetting variables. So we do the numbers first and then we go alphabetical order on our variables. Finally, the last terms. So again, we're going to do our numbers first. 7 times 4, which is 28. Then you look and you have x squared times y cubed. Those are not matching, so we bring down the x squared, we bring down the y cubed. And then that is your final answer. On number 8, that is one of the questions that tricks the most amount of students. You cannot distribute this 2 to both pieces because this is not multiplication on the inside. This has to be a monomial if you're going to distribute that to the exponent of 2. So you need to rewrite this rather as x minus 4 times itself. And the exponent tells us how many times to multiply this base times itself. In this case, it's 2. Now you're going to FOIL first terms, which would be these two right here. X times x is x squared. Outside terms, x times negative 4 is negative 4x. Inside terms, negative 4 times x is negative 4x. Last terms, negative 4 times negative 4 is positive 16. And now you're going to combine your like terms. So nothing goes with x squared. These two in the middle, negative 4x minus 4x is minus 8x. And then we still have the plus 16. And that is your final answer. On number 9, you have a couple of options here. Typically what we shared with you in class is to look at your radical in the denominator. If you can't take the square root of it, then you should be multiplying by 1. And because that's consistent with what we've taught you in class, I'm going to do that. There actually was an easier way to do it, and if you would like to know in class what that is, you may ask me. But essentially, you would have rejoined all of this under the same roof and knocked out the x's. Here we go. Because we can't take out the square root of x and we can't leave it in the denominator, you're going to multiply it by something equivalent to 1, but you're going to use this denominator, square root of x over square root of x. Then, you're going to go ahead and multiply these. So on the top, we have 5 square root of 2 times x. And now let's go ahead and put this x inside with it as well. Over, on the bottom, we have square root of x times x. Now we look for our twins, which is up here. We pull one out, which is down here. We pull it out. So what that's going to give us on the top is 5. When we pull out a twin, x. Only thing left inside is the square root of 2. Over. On the bottom, we pull out the x, and there's nothing left inside, so we actually can just get rid of the radical. Now we simplify. Notice that 5x and x are both on the outside of the radical, therefore we can actually cover up the square root of 2 and we can simplify. Well, we have x over x. X divided by x is 1, which actually cancels, so we can cancel out our x's, leaving us with 5 square root of 2. Go back to the beginning with what I said. If you wanted the easier way, these were both under a radical, so you could have done one big radical and canceled out your x's right away, and the only thing left would have been 5 square root of 2. All right, number 10. Number 10 you have two options. You can multiply the outsides, so we would have 8 times this invisible 1 to get 8, and multiply the insides. Or you can do what I emphasized in class, which is go ahead and multiply your outsides, and then do your prime factorization of the insides. So if we came off to the side and we did 12, that's 4 and 3, which then is 2 and 2. So we got 2 times 2 times 3, and then we're going to multiply that times the square root of 40. So we got to do 40 now. 4 and 10, which is 2 and 2, and then 2 and 5. So that would be 2 times 2 times 2 times 5. So this is the 8 times 1 outside. This is 12 here, 2 times 2 times 3. This is 40, 2 times 2 times 2 times 5. Now we're going to combine all the stuff inside the radical under one roof and start looking for some twins. So we have 8 square root of, we have 2 times 2, then let's get these 3 2's over here. Then we're going to get the 3, and we're going to get that 5. And look for your twins. There's 1 set, there's 2 sets. So when we pull out them, we only pull out 1, so it's going to be 8 times 1 of these 2's times 1 of these 2's. So we're done with those. And inside, none of these are left are twins, so we're going to leave it as 2 times 3 times 5. And now we're going to just simplify our last step. So we have 8 times 2, which is 16. 16 times 2, which is 32. On the inside, 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 5 is 30. So 32 squared root of 30 is your final answer. All right, number 11 is something that we did not emphasize too much in class, because you've usually only done a binomial times a binomial or a monomial times a trinomial like we did up here. So number 11, when you have a binomial times something larger than a binomial, you're going to have to split it up. So this x comes first, and you're going to multiply it times everything inside this parentheses or the trinomial. So x squared minus 4x plus 6. Then we're going to put minus 2, and we're going to do the same trinomial. And I will show you again where this came from in a minute. Look here where my fingers are. X minus 2, right there. And then notice inside these are both that trinomial. So whenever you're multiplying the binomial times the trinomial, you split this binomial up, x minus 2, and you multiply it times the trinomial. Now we're going to distribute. X times x squared is x cubed. X times negative 4x is negative 4x squared. X times 6 is 6x. Distribute again, but this time we're going to use negative 2. Negative 2 times x squared is negative 2x squared. Negative 2 times negative 4x is positive 8x. And negative 2 times 6 is negative 12. Now just look for your like terms. Starting with x cubed, it was the only one of its kind. The x squared, these two match. So negative 4x squared minus 2x squared, negative 6x squared. Do the x's. 6x plus 8x, 14x. And the only thing left is this negative 12. That is your final answer. And finally, number 12. Here's your binomial times a binomial, so we're going to FOIL. First terms, x times x is x squared. Outside terms, x times 7 is 7x. Inside terms, negative 6 times x is negative 6x. Last terms, negative 6 times 7, negative 42. Now we just combine like terms. X squared, this will combine to give me just regular x, and then we have minus 42. And that is our final answer.